Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I am Muhammad Abdur Rahim, lecturer in English, Habibpur School and College, Shibganj, Bogura. Hope you are doing well. Alhamdulillah, I am also fine. Today, I am going to discuss the transformation of sentences. In this item, you have to know certain specific items. That is, the transformation of sentence covers several items like number 1, assertive to exclamatory and vice versa. Number 2, assertive to interrogative and vice versa. Affirmative to negative and vice versa. Compound to complex and vice versa. Compound to simple and vice versa. Complex to simple and vice versa, superlative to positive, superlative to comparative, comparative to positive, and active voice to passive. Okay, and today's topic is number 1, assertive to exclamatory. If you want to change an assertive sentence into exclamatory one, you have to start the answer with what or how. Okay? If you want to change an assertive sentence into exclamatory one, you have to start the answer with what or how. Now question is, when will you use what and when will you use how? If there is article a or an in the sentence, then you have to start the answer with what. Just before a or an, you have to use what. But if you don't find any a or an in the sentence, that is a or an is missing. In that case, you have to start the answer with how. But where do you use how? Just after verb, you have to use how. Clear? Again, if we want to change from assertive to exclamatory one, you have to start the answer with what. If there is a or an, you have to use what. And if there is no a or an, then you have to start the answer with how. Just before a or an, you have to use what. And just after verb, you have to use how. Remember, certain words should be omitted. These are very, great, extremely, quite, awfully. These words can be used in assertive sentence, but these words can never be used in exclamatory one. Now look at the example. Bangladesh is a very beautiful country. Look, in this sentence, there is an article a. So just before a, we have to use word, and the first part, that is subject and verb, should be used at the end of the sentences. And some words like very should be deleted. So the answer is, what a beautiful country Bangladesh is. And at the end of your answer, you must use note of exclamation. Clear? Follow me. Just before a or an, I use what. And the first part, that is subject and verb, should be used at the end of the sentences. And the word very should be deleted. So the answer is, what a beautiful country Bangladesh is. Clear? Now, if you don't find a or an, then what will you do? Look at the example. The people of Bangladesh are very emotional. Mark carefully, in this sentence there is no article a or an. So you have to use how. But where? After a verb. And the word very should be related, and the first part should be used at the end of your answer. So the answer is how emotional the people of Bangladesh are, and note of exclamation. Clear? But you know, every rule has its exception. In that case, the item assertive to exclamatory also goes to exception. Here you will find some exception. Now follow me. I wish I were a leader. The sentence starts with subject and wish. So if any sentence starts with subject and wish, just omit subject and wish and use if. So the answer is if I were a leader, and note of exclamation. Again, it's a matter of joy that I have stood first in the exam. It's a matter of joy that I have stood first in the exam. Omit these words, that is, it's a matter of joy that, and use only hurrah and note of exclamation, and then I have stood first in the exam. Again, it's a matter of sorrow that he is no more. It's a matter of sorrow that he is no more. From it to that, that is, it's a matter of sorrow that, omit these words and use only alas. Alas, he is no more. Okay. Now for your better understanding, I repeat my lecture. By this time, I have discussed how to change an assertive sentence into exclamatory one. If we want to change an assertive sentence into exclamatory one, we have to start the answer with what or how. If there is a or an, then we have to use what. But if there is no a or an, then you have to use how. Some specific words should be omitted in exclamatory sentences. These words are very, great, quite, extremely, and awfully. Okay? Just before a or an, you have to use word, and the subject and verb should be used at the end of your sentences. But when you complete the answer, you must use note of exclamation. In case no a or an, then at the right place of very, great, quite, extremely, awfully, you have to use how, and the first part, that is subject and verb, should be used at the end of your answer. There are some exceptions. Exception number one, if the sentence starts with subject plus wish, then omit subject and wish and use only if. If it starts, it's a matter of joy that you have to use hurrah. It's a matter of sorrow that you have to use alas. It's a matter of surprising that you have to use wow. Okay? I hope you have understood my lecture very clearly. And that's the end of my today's lecture. See you again in the next class. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.